Nerve Radio, live from Bournemouth University.
Hey everyone, it's Hannah Clubley, radio presenter and head of music for Nerve Radio at Bournemouth University. Today I'm joined by singer-songwriter BIlly Lockett to chat all about his career in music. Thank you so much for joining me today, Billy. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to hear what you have to say today. So, just before we jump into things, what is the story behind how you got into music?
To be honest, I couldn't really do anything else. I'm terrible at everything. And I know that's not the most inspiring thing, but I've always been really good at this. Well, not really good, but just better than everything else. So I just kind of fell into it really. And I've always been able to play piano since I was 5 or 6. I've always just played piano. I guess I do love it.
Yeah.
I do love doing it. But it kind of just sort of chose me, really. I didn't really, like, my dad always says that, like, well, I've said that, you don't really have a choice sometimes. It kind of like, you just have to do this or you'll go mad. If I spend like a couple of months not making any music, my whole like mood and my brain and my mental health, everything just goes out the window. It's like I can really feel myself getting depressed when I'm not able to play or sing.
Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about your recent album. You released it earlier on this year. How has it been received by the public since its release?
Amazing. I mean, much better than I expected, to be fair. I thought it was going to be a bit of a flop, if I'm honest. But this is this has done better than anything I ever imagined. Top 10 is a wild feeling. And most importantly, everyone likes it as well. It's like, this is the thing. Obviously, there's charts and numbers and all that rubbish, really nonsense. But most important thing is I really like the album. Everyone else really likes it. It's getting a lot of good reviews, and it's just nice. It's just nice to actually have something out that I'm proud of, and it's what I wanted it to be as well. It looks great, and I just feel like for the rest of my life I can kind of be like, yeah, I love that album. I did a good job. That's really the goal, is to just feel proud of what you do.
Yeah, I think that's so important. So the album is called Abington Grove. And what is the message behind the album as a whole?
There's a couple of messages. Obviously, in terms of the lyrics and the songs, it's about trying to be kinder to yourself, understanding that it's totally normal to feel good and bad all the time, sometimes at the same time. But it's also a message, I think, to a lot of artists with this album, is that like taking your time is really important. Maybe not 10 years. I mean, I don't think I'll spend 10 years on the next album, but still, getting it right. I'd much rather like get it right and spend a long time on it than rush it and it not sound perfect. Yeah, the message is just, whatever you do, make sure it's good, even if it takes ages.
Well, I love that. At least I guess at the end of it, you come out with a body of work that you're really proud of, which is really important. So I'd love to know, who did you take inspiration from when creating this album?
I guess I was listening to a lot of like Glass Animals at the time. I was listening to a lot of Oh Wonder, a lot of Einaudi, Ludovico Einaudi is this kind of Italian pianist. I wasn't really taking inspiration from anything. I think that's why it doesn't really make any sense. Like, this album has no real genre. There's a ballad, and then there's a pop song, and then it goes really dark, and there's some spoken word in it, and then it goes into something else. It's a complete hodgepodge of sounds, because I didn't really think about what I was doing in like an intentional way. Of like, I was just like, if it felt like it needed something at a certain point, then I would just do it, and I didn't really care about what genre I was in or what lane I was supposed to sound. Like, I just kind of just let the song sort of decide what happened, and so therefore I think it's just sort of influenced by everything, because it's just my brain like sort of just vomiting sound out.
Well, it turned out well in the end, at least. Now, moving on slightly, with the release of that album, you also went on tour, which some of the team here at Nerve Radio were lucky enough to go down and see you in Bournemouth a few weeks ago. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it, but I know they thoroughly enjoyed the nights. First of all, thank you so much for inviting everyone down. But I'm really eager to know, how was that tour? And do you have any exciting stories you can share with us from being on the road?
Yeah, I mean, the tour was amazing, actually. I mean, Bournemouth was one of the few shows that was a bit of a mess. I don't know whether you heard. So I ended up just chatting to the crowd. It was actually a blessing in disguise because it got me really close with them. You know what I mean? It got me kind of like, it broke the ice, and it was like it was quite a nice, weird, spontaneous moment. So yeah, that was a fun one. Yeah.
So what song off the new album do you enjoy performing live the most?
Oh, that's a good one. I think probably Miss Missing You. Miss Missing You is the one that everyone seems to love, and they always sing with the words. I mean, the words are so it's not that challenging. So I think that one, yeah, and that's the one that seems to be. I mean, this is the thing, like when a crowd knows the songs. It's weird because I always think I'm getting really good at gigging, you know. Yeah, I feel like I'm getting really good at this, but then you realise that gigging is easy if everyone's singing with you. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like you're just having a big sing along, and that's what my shows are really. They're just a big sing along from beginning to end.
Yeah, that's really nice though. I mean, I love going to gigs when like everyone's getting involved and the flashlights come out, and like it's just a nice atmosphere. So I also just wanted to touch on your first album that you have released back in June 2020. This is a super special one, a modern classical album entirely with instrumentation, no vocals. You achieved quite a lot of success on that, didn't you, with chart and airtime and stuff like that. So can you tell us a little bit about that project?
Yeah, that was kind of it was through lockdown, and I was just trying to learn how to produce really, and so I just thought, all right, I'll try and make a classical album. It was the first time I'd got the studio sorted out, and I wanted to try and learn how to record. So that was pretty much the first recordings I ever did. And I just sort of just jammed around with like nice piano tunes. I mean, it was just a really therapeutic, easy thing to do. I like playing piano anyway. I mean, this is the thing. I just every day I'll just sort of tinkle about on a piano playing that kind of stuff, so I just thought I may as well record it. But I didn't expect it to do so well. I mean, that really did fly up the chart, which was great. I mean, it was a complete fluke really. I never listened to it anymore, and I don't think that many people do. I think in terms of my streaming, it's like that whole album is one of the lowest streamed things out of mine, but I think it's because people just want words to get behind a lot of the time, and they need lyrics to sort of relate to things. But it was a lot of fun. It taught me a lot, and it was nice to just sort of. It's nice to have a feeling of I produced it, I wrote it, like the whole thing was mine. Filmed all the videos at home on a phone. I mean, the whole thing was super budget, but it was lockdown. You couldn't do anything.
Yeah,
so it's a good way of just like bridging the gap while the world sort of nearly ended.
Yeah, making the most of the time you had, I guess. So it's safe to say you've already achieved some pretty amazing things in your career, headline tour, and then you've also supported the likes of Lewis Capaldi and Electric Light Orchestra, and also had some TV appearances too. But if you had to pick one standout moment of your career so far, what would it be?
I think that's an easy one actually now. Cadogan Hall, which was my London show a couple of weeks ago. It was with strings, it was a gospel choir. It was the first time I felt like I've got everything right. You know what I mean? Because when you're doing this, you're always tweaking things, and you're always thinking, "No, that doesn't sound good," or maybe that's too much, or maybe it's not enough, or am I wearing the right? Even down to small things, do you know, like, am I wearing the right thing? Am I talking the right way? Am I doing too many jokes? Am I doing enough jokes in between songs? All this stuff, crowd interaction, and that show was just where everything just came together. And it was like, finally I found it, and now I'm just going to do this. Like that exact setup was everything, and the crowd was great, and it was a beautiful venue. My mum was there, and she was crying. That's the best moment of my life. Yeah,
that's really nice. So just to wrap things up, what are your plans for the rest of 2023?
Well, I am touring again next week. I'm back out on the road supporting someone massive, but I'm not allowed to tell you who that is yet. He's not letting me announce it yet. But that's going to be really fun. And then I think basically I'm just touring. It's festival season.
Yeah.
I'm already working on the second album. Really, I've already done 3 songs for it. But I don't know. Just keep going. Just keep trying. Keep trying to get more fans, and just cross my fingers that it just keeps going well.
Yeah, wow, good luck with all of that, and thank you so much for joining me today. It's been so great chatting to you and hearing all about your amazing stories.
Amazing. Cheers.
Thank you so much.